All right, welcome to our explainer. Today, we're diving into a really profound and honestly reality-bending first-person account of an experience that took place deep in the woods of the Pacific Northwest. This is a story about perception, yeah, but also about what happens when that line between you and the world around you just completely dissolves.
So, this one line right here, it really sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about. The author isn't describing something chaotic like the world falling apart. No, it's something way weirder, almost more orderly. It's like the very fabric of reality was just peeled back. And this wasn't some slow, gradual journey into a different state of mind. The author talks about a world that unzipped, a sudden, complete shift in how existence itself felt. So let's unpack how this all kicked off.
Now, the setting for this story, it's not just a backdrop. You could almost say it's one of the main characters. To really get what happened, you have to get a feel for this incredibly isolated and atmospheric place.
So picture this. We're deep in the forests of the Olympic Peninsula, right around that time in late November when the sun feels like a pretty distant memory. We're talking about the darkest, wettest part of the year out there, a time of just deep, deep quiet.
And you know, the isolation here was totally intentional. A cabin 2 miles up an old logging road, that's not a place you just stumble upon. This was a choice, a deliberate retreat from everything, far away from normal life.
And yeah, this really paints the full picture, doesn't it? No connection to the outside world, nobody for miles. It's cold, just above freezing, and the air is so heavy with moisture, the author says it felt like breathing through a soaked towel. It's a total sensory bubble, kind of priming the pump for what was about to happen. So what was the actual trigger for this reality-shattering event? The author has a name for it. They call it the deletion formula, a very specific combination of things that set this whole experience in motion.
The account is incredibly precise about this recipe that was used, and the author's own words for it are pretty chilling. They called it the combo that deleted me.
And here is that exact formula. The main ingredient you'll see is Salvia Divinorum, which is known for these incredibly intense, though usually short, dissociative experiences. But here, it's not just the plant. It's a base of plain leaf that's been supercharged with a really potent 20x extract. Then you have this other herb, Tagetes lucida, mixed in. In the method, it's all designed for maximum immediate effect. Every single detail here was intentional.
Okay, so let's get to the core of the event itself. This is the moment it all flips, and it happens unbelievably fast. The title here is taken word for word from how the author described it. 45 seconds, that's it. In less than a minute, the world as they knew it was just gone. This wasn't a slow build-up. It was like someone just flipped a switch.
And the author is crystal clear on this next point. This was not a figure of speech. They are describing what felt to them like a literal physical event of being consumed by the forest.
Wow, this just perfectly illustrates the absolute totality of it. This wasn't a feeling of being connected to the forest. It was a complete dissolution of self into the forest. The author describes becoming the soil, feeling 1,000 years of rain, even feeling the weight of boots that hadn't even stepped there yet. Just incredible. So what happens after something like that? I mean, how do you come back from literally becoming the forest floor? Well, the author makes it very clear that the effects were not temporary. Something was left behind, an imprint. This right here, it says it all. The experience wasn't some fun thing to be repeated. It was a one-time lesson. It was so profound that it answered any and all questions they might have had. The intensity was enough for a lifetime. You know, what's really interesting here is this distinction the author makes. The overwhelming salvia experience faded, but they imply that it was the other herb, the Tagetes lucida, that left a lasting signature. This permanent citrus echo that subtly but forever changed their inner world. And here's where you see that fundamental day-to-day shift. Before, a walk in the woods was just that, but after, it's an interaction. The author describes brushing past the plant and feeling this tug, a sense of being recognized by the very ground they were once a part of.
All right, let's wrap this up with something that's absolutely critical here. This isn't just a wild story. It's also a cautionary tale, with some really important warnings from the author about the nature of these kinds of irreversible experiences. Okay, this is probably the most crucial takeaway. First off, the legal status of salvia has changed in Washington since this took place. But way more important is the author's own explicit warning. Do not attempt this. And if you ever explore any similar states of consciousness, always have a sober, trusted sitter with you. No exceptions.
And that leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. It's such a powerful metaphor, isn't it, for experiences that change you for good. Once you walk through that door, you don't just get to decide to walk back out again. You are fundamentally altered. And the knob to get back, it's on the other side. A really sobering reminder of the permanence of a journey like this.